Welcome back to the RTV show. My name is Rajiv Bajaj, and at the moment we are with the one man who's perhaps the most incredible cricketer and sportsperson I've ever met, and of course the man who's in the news right now, Mr. Mohinder Jimmy Amarnath. Good morning, sir. And thank you so much for seeing us. Thank you so much. I know you're a very tired man. I think you must have given more interviews in these last 24 hours.
I think this thing happens,
than ever in your life.
Very true, I agree with you. Absolutely.
So how does it feel, being in the media, being on every channel?
Not really. I don't really do things to get mileage out of it. I don't do things that I should be seen on television. I've been doing television for quite a few years. And I always believe in destiny, and probably it was one of those reasons, like it just happened, and it happened at the right time, I would put it this way.
I didn't mean that you were trying to get mileage. I didn't say that. What I meant was, what did it mean for you and to your family? Because you are one of the most diffident, retiring sort of persons. You always shun the limelight. You don't like to come in the limelight. And for a guy like you, to have his face on every television channel, in every cricketing nation in the world, what did that do to you and to your family?
No, I don't think it from that angle. To be very honest, I don't, because see, my mindset is totally different. If I'm with the family, if I'm at home, or if I'm away from the media, I'm quite comfortable, and then I'm not the guy who would like to be there all the time. If it's there, it's fine. If I'm doing a job, I enjoy doing it. And if it's not there, I love listening to music. I just do my own thing, do a bit of writing, and write a little bit here and there, and just travel around, and that's the way I am actually.
So one of these days, the real story of whatever happened to Mohinder Jimmy Amarnath will come out. Because after all, you're writing. So I assume you must be writing your memoirs. Are you?
Yes, I am actually. I've just started writing, and hopefully I'll have enough time now, because I'm no more a selector. I have a lot of free time, because I do a bit of television whenever India is playing, or whenever I have an opportunity to do it. And definitely I'll put everything on paper, and I like to share with the Indian public, like whatever I have experienced over a period of time. And also because I think in India it's very important to have things clear, or make it clear to the public, because India is one country where I think the cricket is bigger than anything else. I think it's above the religion, or I think it unites the country and everything. And so there I think probably this is the way I feel. I'm talking about myself, not about anybody else, that if I can share things with the public, a cricket-loving public, I think it'll be nice. They will have, or they will know a lot of facts which they are not aware of.
Fantastic, wonderful. We're looking forward to that. But the only thing is, to come back to the present, to the present controversy, is not really a controversy, actually, not my opinion. The one criticism which has been leveled against you is that why did you take so long to talk? I mean,
no, it's
why?
not that. I think, as I said, I believe in destiny, and I was chilling in Goa, and I happened to be in Pune, and I happened to be there in a discussion-based program actually. And a question was asked, and just answered, that's all. It's not that I wanted to create a controversy and I wanted to do things. I don't pick time and like that. I don't think I'm the person who would do that. And I think it happened to happen in that way actually, and it just happened at the right time. And I always believe whatever happens, I think it happens for the best.
The other criticism, of course, is that you did it on the eve of the final test against England. And the test is going on right now, even as we speak. And one part of the BCCI, not every part of course, lots of people within the BCCI, we know that for a fact, are quite happy at what you have said, but a huge majority are not, very unhappy with you. They must be thinking about you, in totality. The whole focus of attention is going to be on you. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. To say all this on the eve of the final test in a series which India is desperately trying to save, was it sportsmanlike?
No, actually, I don't time things. To be very honest, if you ask me, since I've not been a selector, I've not been watching cricket, I don't watch unless and until I'm doing a job. And even if I've said, say, on the eve of a test match, so what? Really, I've said what I felt actually. And see, I don't think it's going to reflect on the performance of the team or on the players, because they're all professional. They've been around for time. They're all professional. They've been playing, and they know how to handle pressure. And even a small comment made by me is not going to make much of a difference to them, because once they're on the field, I think they will just concentrate on the game. They will not think about what ABC has said something about somebody.
You absolutely love this man, right? He says a small comment made by me.
Yeah, it just says a drop in the ocean, actually.
Do you think it's a small comment?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I just spoke the truth, that's all. I just gave a clear picture what exactly happened. And probably, see, in India, I think we all are very emotional, and when it comes to cricket, I think everyone is an expert.
That's
Everyone
right.
has his own opinion.
That's right.
That's fine. It's a free country, and you're entitled to do that. And so whatever they say, it's like their statement, their views is fine. I think they're entitled to do that. And whatever I want to say, I have done it, or I want to say, is I'm entitled to do that.
Absolutely, and there we agree with you entirely. And after all, we must also point out that if Mr. Amarnath's comments, taken in the negative sense at the moment, have had such an effect, as people are saying that they might have such an effect, not have had such an effect, then all his positive comments rightfully should have had a different kind of effect, right? Because I believe, as far as Mohinder Singh Dhoni is concerned, as far as the rest of the team is concerned, they had such a huge opportunity where, you could have advised them, and you did advise them also, as far as I know, when you were a selector. You did have a conversation with them about, perhaps...
No, when I was a selector, I was doing a job of a selector, and I was doing with clear conscience and with honesty. And so, see, I think in the Indian system, now the system is such, you just pick 14 or 15 players and then just left it and give it to the captain and the coach. I think then they select the final 11. And see, you can select a player, but the performance depends on the individual, how well they handle the pressure, how well they play. And see, when I was there, I think as a team, as 5 selector, we had a very good rapport, and we got along very well. And I think our intentions were very clear that we wanted to pick the best team. And if for somebody who's not doing well and if he had to be replaced, he had to be replaced. See, because I'm a strong believer, the current form is very, very important. And I'm not an emotional emotional person as far as cricket is concerned, because I believe that whatever you see, and you have to be consistent as a professional,
right,
and you have to perform all the time, and that's the way the game is. And if you're not performing, if you're not there, I think then somebody else should get an opportunity.
That's right, absolutely, but that didn't happen. That did not happen, especially where Mr. Dhoni is concerned, especially where so many other people are concerned.
Not
where
really,
MS Dhoni is concerned, where
yeah.
Sachin Tendulkar is concerned. I mean, what are we scared of? Why are we so scared where MS Dhoni is concerned? Why? I mean, the captain, he's not done well. So what? I mean, there are times when you don't do well. So you're dropped as a captain. And in your opinion, I heard you say this, that perhaps MS Dhoni does not even deserve a place in the team, considering his present form.
Yeah.
So what's
true.
the problem? I don't understand.
See, in India we are very emotional people. That is one, and we live in the past. So we, I think, find it difficult to come out of that, and also we find it difficult to look ahead and be far-sighted as such. And Dhoni has done wonderfully well, I think, as for the shorter version of the game is concerned. India won the World Cup, fine. India won the World Cup, not one person. All 11 contributed, and India won. And if you see Dhoni's performance for the last 1 year, I don't think he has done wonders, honestly, as far as Test cricket is concerned. Whether we talk about series in India or abroad or anywhere for that. And he didn't do well either as a captain, because I think his style of captaincy, his defensive policy, whatever he was doing, and it didn't work. I'm not blaming one guy. As a team they failed, but the captain has to take the blame. But in the past also, it happened when somebody didn't do well as a captain and didn't perform. So he was replaced by somebody else.
That's right.
Even if you replace somebody today, even if you replace Dhoni, so what? Is it, you mean to say you're not going to replace one person? If he's doing well, he will continue. If he doesn't do well, naturally someone has to come. Because I feel as a test cricketer, he hasn't done much well in last 1 year cricket. No.
That's the understatement of the year.
You know, so definitely you have to give him
you lose all 4 tests in England, you lose all 4 tests in Australia.
No, you can lose, but I think the way you lose, that's important actually as a team. And if you're not done well, so I think somebody must have an opportunity to show his talent. Unless and until you try that guy and give an opportunity to those young guys, you won't know how good they are.
Absolutely. I still remember the time when, in that series against Pakistan, you were also there. Ravi Shastri was tried out as an opener once and he scored a century. That was his first century, if I remember correctly. The Pakistan tour.
Karachi test match.
Yes, and later on, of course, he went on to score so many other things. But Ravi Shastri had failed as a batsman in so many tests. But we gave him an opportunity. You gave him an opportunity, and he scored.
Yeah.
But the fact remains, I still remember at that time. I think Iftikhar Ahmed was one of the commentators. Was commentating for Pakistan TV. We were getting the feed over here.
Yeah.
He said it is unlikely that he will score another century again.
Because Iftikhar had not played cricket.
He had never played cricket. That's right. And later on, Ravi Shastri went on to do so many things. Same kind of comments were made about you. But what I'm trying to get at over here is, if Bishan Singh Bedi could be replaced, if Sunil Gavaskar could be replaced, if Kapil Dev could be replaced, why not Dhoni?
Yeah, why? Or anybody for that matter. It's not only one person. I think as a captain, if you perform, you should continue. If you don't perform, I think there's always another candidate to take your place.
जी बिल्कुल. और जनाब जब ये बात आपने, when you said this in the selection board, I am reasonably certain you have the same facts as everybody else. It is not as if that your facts are different from everybody else's.
No, not at all. Bilkul nahi.
Everybody knows exactly what's happening. You are all cricketers. Whether it's Narendra Hirwani, whether it is you, whether it is Krishnamachari Srikanth, or anybody else, or the other 2 guys who were there in the selection board, सबको पता ही है क्या हो रहा है. Then why wasn't Dhoni replaced?
नहीं, देखिए प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे ये कि जब टीम ऑस्ट्रेलिया गई तो वी ऑल फेल्ट दैट ही हैड अ बैड सीरीज इन इंग्लैंड, सो फाइन ही वाज कंटिन्यूड एज अ कैप्टन टू द नेक्स्ट सीरीज, एंड फर्स्ट 2 टेस्ट मैच इंडिया फेल्ड मिserably actually, and they lost the 3rd test match in about 2.5 days against Australia.
Yes.
And it's not that if you lose, it's not the end of the world. It's how you lose the game, how you're playing the game, that's more important. And that's, I think, as 5 selectors, we thought and felt that probably this is the right time to replace Dhoni with somebody else. Okay, he had won the World Cup a year earlier, that was fine. But it doesn't mean that if you had done something great in the past, you cannot be replaced. I don't believe in that.
That is the World Cup of 50 overs cricket. Not 5-day cricket.
5-day cricket. But again, by that time, those test matches were going to end in Australia, and they were going to play a triangular series. So I thought this is the right time to give somebody an opportunity, some youngster an opportunity to play in those tough conditions. Because we were all thinking, I was thinking from an angle that I was thinking of 2015 World Cup, that say if you start something on a high note against a good side in tough condition and perform, then probably then you will start building a team for the future. Right. So we wanted to do that, and so all 5 selectors wanted to replace Dhoni, and we had a candidate also. We had a young guy, Virat Kohli. He was doing very well, and especially his performance in one-day cricket has been very, very outstanding.
That's right.
And he has the captaincy experience for his state and for under 19 and all that. I think he's a very energetic kind of a character on the field. He's street smart, and he ready to take the attack to the opposition and all those things. Looking into the cricketing sense and cricketing ability of a person, I thought probably this is the right guy to take over, and that was the intention of the selection committee. I don't think there was anything wrong of doing that, but it was overruled by the president of the BCCI. Actually, I was not aware that BCCI, they have a constitution. In constitution, the president has this veto, and then he can do it. I was not aware. I'm sure the current team, those players are even playing in this side, or people those have played in past, in my time or before, they know what, I don't know really what BCCI constitution is, to be very honest, really. And if you have a selection committee, then you should back them. You should have faith in their whatever they're doing.
So Mr. Srinivasan vetoed the choice of the selection board.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought it was not good for the game, and I think it was a disgraceful kind of an act. Like when you're overruling the people, those have played the game, those who understand the game, and you feel that no, you know better, you're bigger than them.
And the sad part is now there's this entire talk of conflict of interest, where Mr. Dhoni happens to be the captain of Mr. Srinivasan's team, that is Chennai Super Kings, and Krishnamachari Srikanth, notwithstanding the fact that he agreed with you in the selection board, he happened to be the brand ambassador for CSK. But could it be because of that reason that Dhoni was kept on? Because there were commercial considerations involved. After all, if the Chennai Super Kings captain is removed as captain of the Indian team, that's a huge blow for the franchise.
No, see, like here I was there as a selector to select the Indian team. Like even if like somebody owns a team, like I'm not interested to know what really exactly going over there it goes, because entirely between the person or the franchisees, because I'm nobody to comment about that. What I was interested in only to pick the best Indian side or the best captain or the person who deserved over there. And Srikanth, yes, he was selected, but I don't think now he was one of the brand ambassador of
he was there
just for a very short
while,
I think probably first IPL or something. He was there, but I think the intention of the selector was to have the right guy at the right place, like at the right post. And but we were overruled, and I didn't know that president had the veto, because I thought we were playing cricket actually, not really fighting wars or something like that.
So what is this about the Amarnaths? What is this about the Amarnaths? That there is always somebody who's there to hit them. There was a gentleman called Vizzy, and your father in the 1936 series, and of course Major Britain Jones, the manager, and you have Mr. Srinivasan in your life. Just a reminder to our viewers, I'm talking about the 1936 series. Lala Amarnath, the only Indian ever. They were the first Indian to have scored an official Test century, and he scored it against perhaps one of the toughest English teams, Douglas Jardine's bodyline team. He scored the first Test century for an Indian. He was sent back home.
Yeah, I think
and that too by a captain who had never played first-class cricket ever in his life, who didn't know how to set a field. Earlier, C.K. Naidu used to set his field, and he became captain by default because Nawab Patawali Senior fell ill.
Yeah. No, I think I don't know. There's something in Amarnath blood. I think I would put it this way. I think as Amarnath, we are very straightforward, and we say what we feel like. And so I think in our country, if you are say things straight away and without mincing word, and you don't try to please people, and the people don't appreciate, and when you speak the truth, nobody appreciates that anyway. And so whatever I've said, this is what I had experienced, and I didn't say anything from out of context, what had happened, honestly. And so if it doesn't, people, if they don't like it, fine, it's their choice. They don't like it, it doesn't worry me, but I'm saying things in the interest of Indian cricket and for the cricket-loving public of India.
Now, what I would like to ask you is this: the incident that I mentioned happened in 1936, right?
Yeah.
At that time, Lord Willingdon was the patron of Indian cricket, and he had appointed Major Britain Jones to be the manager, look after Vizzy, so to speak. Even at that time, Vizzy should never have been in the team, but he was the Maharaj Kumar of Vizianagaram, and naturally he had to be in the team. Yeah. In a similar manner, of course, there are no princes now. The Star Chamber of the Princes is not there anymore. Yeah. But you have the princes of the Board of Control for Cricket in India. So per se, cricket hasn't changed very much. Only the money is bigger.
No, I
the
think
management of cricket.
Yeah,
that has not changed very much.
No,
Isn't that right?
No, it hasn't. Basically, I think the cricket in India is so big, so huge. And I think everybody wants to be connected with the game. You see like businessmen, you see politicians, you see people from all walks of life. They want to be connected with cricket, not with other sports. Why don't they get connected with the kabaddi or gulli danda or hockey or wrestling? They don't, because the glamour is not there, the mileage is not there. So automatically you want the maximum mileage. If somebody says doing it for the game, I won't agree with that, honestly, really. because I think it's the power, it's the hunger, is there to be seen, is there to control the thing. Probably that's the way I think they all come there.
All right, now coming down to the present time, you have said the veto power ought to be removed, and B, why have a selection committee if you're going to overrule them?
No, if a selector cannot do what they want, then what's the need? Why you have them over there? If you don't have faith in them, then why have them over there? And there I feel like even Rajiv, if you're there, I'm sure you can pick 10, 11 guys yourself. You can become a selector, and it's
every Indian can become a selector. Let's be very clear. That's what you said.
Yeah, every Indian. I'm telling you, because it's a passion with us, this game.
Yes.
When you have some sport which is a passion, and people get really emotional, they get involved, automatically I think you're going to know more about the game, and probably you discuss more, you have your favorites, who is the best guy, who's not a good guy. But I think the important thing is the player, you have to pick those who can perform in a crucial situation. I think there the job of the selector comes in.
You really thought that they would listen to you? After all that has happened to you yourself, you really thought they would listen to you?
See, I didn't go for this job. I didn't apply for this job. I was invited for this job. I was shocked actually when I was invited. I got a call, and then that they wanted me to be selected. I was shocked because I never wanted to be selected. But what I was promised, that they wanted an honest man. They wanted somebody who was straight and who could do a good job for Indian cricket. See, the problem here, the moment you start talking straight, then I think the problem starts over there.
Do you think they'll make the same mistake again? Make you a selector once more?
No, I'll make it very clear. I don't think I'll ever take this job. I have nothing to do with BCCI. I will never join BCCI in any capacity. That's for sure. They have no respect for cricketers.
Is that something new? I mean, is that something you just learned?
No, this is what I have experienced more because I was there in the thick of things, which earlier I was saying things from outside, but for last 1-2 years.
As a player, you've been dropped for all sorts of flimsy reasons.
No, that's fine. That's part and parcel of the game, but I think...
How is it part and parcel of the game?
And no, that's what happens actually, because you have different rules for different players, and... But again, I thought once I retired from cricket, probably rules would change. But they haven't. They're still the same.
They did the same thing. They did the same thing to so many people. They did the same thing to your father. They've done that to you. They did that to Salim Durrani. They did that to so many people.
No, I think
they've been very lucky that Indians love cricket per se.
No, they don't. I think there are quite a few people in the board. I'm not saying everybody, but there are some people, they have no respect for yesteryear's cricketers, honestly. And it's very sad. People, those who are legends, those who have really done a lot for Indian cricket. I'm not naming anybody, but I'm talking about some of the players.
I mean, you don't need to name anybody, but we can. You look at what happened to Kapil Dev. I mean, notwithstanding all your differences, I mean, you can have differences. Why not? He decided to go with that Z ICL or whatever.
That's fine.
So, but for him to be ignored during the felicitation ceremonies of the 1983 World Cup winners, and then for somebody to lobby for him, that's shameful. Don't you think that's shameful?
This is India.
I mean, that's awful. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is actually. I think they should get their due. That is one, and they should be respected more. And see, you don't see many cricketers in the board anyway. There are few there, but I think when things don't work out properly, or somehow for some reason, and I think the respect they should command, the respect they should have, or the way they should be respected, I think it's all missing.
There used to be a committee, a governing council, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, of cricketers.
Yeah.
That would run cricket in India, and then it was dissolved.
No, I think it was formed the Cricket Association, the Players Association kind of a thing, but it didn't work because, see, like players usually have their own thing, own mindset, and it's very difficult to have players together against the establishment or to talk to the establishment and have the same thing at the other end. And so it starts, with a lot of interest, but usually these things die down very quickly. And
now, in terms of unfairness to various cricketers, for example, you are a prime example, but you fought back, you came back 3 times, and finally, I think in the end, you decided to say, "Oh, all right, enough is enough. I'm not going to do it." I can see the same thing happening at the moment.
No, see, like this is one job. Probably, I tell you, as a selector, or you're a selector, it's a thankless job, honestly, because. even if you want to say things when you're doing the term, you are not allowed to say things. And so what's the point really? People can say things against you or whatever they want, but you can't react to it. That is one. And I think if you have played cricket at the highest level, then you want more freedom. And if you don't have freedom to do, or a free hand to do what you want to do in the interest of the game or interest of the team, then what's the point of to be there, honestly? And I don't think BCCI is my cup of tea, to be very honest, because I think people are very different. Because all my life I've been with cricketers, and the cricketers' mindset is totally different to the people in the administration and other departments of the BCCI.
Now, at the moment, looking at the present team, you have Mohinder Singh Dhoni, who's obviously a dead weight in the team. He's not really able to do very much. I don't know whether he's going to do very well in this test, because that would be a one-off thing. Then there is Sachin Tendulkar. I mean, after all, he's grown old. Let's be very clear. I mean, there's no way that you can actually get up and say that, hey, this is the Sachin of 10 years ago.
No, I think Rajiv, age comes to everybody. You can't control. It's not in your hand, honestly. Maybe you can take care, you can delay it for a while. But I think he has been a great player, no doubt about Tendulkar. He has been a grand ambassador of the game and the country. And what he has done, I don't think anyone has done it, or probably will do it in a longer period, long time to come. But but age comes to everybody. I don't see him playing the way he has played, say, in last 5 years or before 5 years or 3 years back, because the age is going to catch up with everybody.
He's had an average of 15 in the last 2 years.
Yeah, so it's bound to happen. It happened to Ricky Ponting, it happened to Viv Richards, it happened to Brian Lara at the back end of the career. So
it happens to everybody. That's right.
It comes to everybody, But I think he has done a great job for India. He has done a lot of good things for India. I think his presence definitely make a lot of difference. But I don't see him playing in a similar fashion the way he has played in the past.
Maybe he should make way now for other people, for young people to come along.
I think this is a sign when you start failing too often. I think that's an indication that some coordination is missing somewhere. And you're not getting younger, you're getting older with time. And
he's 40 years old.
And so I think why not really just decide yourself and say, fine, okay, because mind say yes, you could do it, but the body is not aligned. So I think this is an indication, it's a sign that the time has come, and it's best thing. This is what I feel. These are my views. To leave and let somebody else and take that responsibility.
This is not the time of railing birth and the so-called team of dads.
They were a team of dads, but when the Australia, then they realized, they had come to a wrong place.
No, but really speaking, the fact remains that Indian cricketing history is replete with so many examples where people have been hard done by because perhaps the captain didn't like you, or perhaps there were too many vested interests supporting the captain. Even in the case of Sunil Gavaskar, for example, I still remember when the Kerry Packer series was going on, there was a second string West Indies side which was touring. I still remember Alvin Kalicharan was the captain.
Yeah.
There was a boy called Dheeraj Prasanna, an off spinner who had been taken on the team, and he bowled exactly 2 overs, or was it 3 overs, and that too after the match was more or less drawn. And when Sunil Gavaskar was asked about it later on Doordarshan, I think I remember Narottam Puri interviewing, your father was also the expert commentator at that time, and he was asked, why did you have him in the team? He didn't really have a proper reply. So it is not as if these things haven't happened before. And in the selection, in a tour of England, where India were battered, I think Bob Willis was captain, if I'm not mistaken, of the England team. Sunil Gavaskar was our captain. There was a gentleman called Suru Naik who had been taken.
82 series.
Yes, Suru Naik, and his only claim to fame was that he was actually able to break Botham's toe. Actually, Botham hit his own bat. Botham hit his foot with his bat. So these things have been happening all throughout, isn't it?
No, this thing happens. Okay, I'll put it this way: selectors are human beings. They can make mistakes. I'm not saying that they are absolutely perfect people. I won't say that when I was there, I was absolutely perfect. There's a possibility I must have made some mistake here and there. End of the day, I'm a human. even if you have done it, but have done it with an honesty, with an intention. That
Right.
if your intentions are clear, if your consciences are clear, then you don't have to worry about it. But I think if you are not, if the team is not performing or the captain is not performing, I think you should also take the responsibility. Not to blame the team all the time. This is what I fail to understand. When team does well, captain take the credit. When team doesn't perform, you start blaming the team. That we didn't score many runs, we should have done this. I think one has to be graceful in defeat also.
That's right. And the selectors also have to take responsibility for the team they select.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm not saying no to that. Yeah.
And what about the coach, by the way? We haven't spoken about Mr. Duncan Fletcher. The Indian team hasn't been the same ever since Gary Kirsten left us, right?
No, see, Gary had a good team. Don't forget that, because I think, as I said, captain is as good as his team, coach is as good as his team. Also, at the same time, if you have the players, you will do wonders. Like Watmore, when he was coaching Sri Lanka, they won the World Cup in Pakistan in 1987. So he went to Bangladesh. So he couldn't do wonder. You can't do it because unless you have players with you, you have that quality. Only then you can work around.
So
that.
is the case with John Buchanan in Australia. He had possibly the best team in
because
the world.
At this age, you're not going to coach them. You don't have to. It's basically man management, and you have to just tune them if you have to tune them, really. And it's an understanding and the comfort zone. You have to be with each other, and that's the way I think the team.
So what should be done now, according to you? You're no longer a selector. You don't want to be associated with the BCCI, but you love cricket because you are a cricketer. You can never get away from that.
No, I love cricket. I love
So what
cricket.
do you think should be done now? Because the way things are going, and if they don't improve, it's like milking a cash cow. They're not just now milking the cash cow, now they're slaughtering the cash cow for beefsteaks. And that's what they're doing. They won't have a cow left.
See, as far as game is concerned, I love cricket, and it hurts when India doesn't perform. And but cricket will be there. I'll be definitely doing television. I'll be, whether I do it for news channel or for somebody.
I'm talking about what needs to be done by the BCCI. What needs to be done there?
See, like I think first thing I feel the selector must have freedom. I think they should not be restricted. They should not be overpowered, and they should not be vetoed and things like that. Because I think they need a free hand. Give them responsibility. Must have faith in them, what they're doing, and let them decide what's the best thing for Indian cricket and for India, for that matter. Unless and until they are not free, they will not be able to do a free job or a good job. Because the moment you feel, even if you do something, you have to take approval from ABC. So naturally you feel, okay, fine, what the best, you can't really give your best to that particular thing. So there I feel the selection committee there should be more clarity. And also I'm not in favor of 5 selectors, honestly, because the zonal system should abolish, and I think we should have only 3 selectors. Doesn't matter which state they represent. I think they'll be representing India. And I think you have the best guy. There should be minimum qualification when you select a selector. Not that anybody can come from any zone for that matter. So I think things will make more sense to me, because I think when you have people at the panel, those who have achieved something at the highest level, even the captain and the players will have a lot of respect for them. If you have some people that they have not done anything, I think probably they won't even give a look to them, like they would look at them. So I think that way, I think let us be more professional. Okay, it's a paid job, it's great, I think they get paid, but I think have people, those who have really done something for the game, and those who have I'm not saying these people don't have the understanding, they have the understanding, but the experience, I think, counts a lot, and they should be of more or less the same caliber when you select the whole panel, and maybe somebody is better than that caliber.
Mr. Amarnath, you said you were very surprised when you were appointed selector, when they offered you. Were you surprised when you were not given an extension? After all, you were there for 2 years. You were supposed to take over as chief selector or chairman of the selection board.
Yeah.
Were you surprised when that?
No, I was there only for a year actually, and 1 year I was with the governing council earlier. That was definitely an honorary job, and so when
because you were due to take over as chief selector, that was what
and
the buzz was.
yeah, this was promised to me, yes, definitely, and but see, in India things do happen, and some way I'm relieved actually that I'm out of it in some way.
So who promised it to you?
And definitely is the president of the BCCI,
Mr.
Srinivasan, and that I was supposed to be there for 4 years, and also take over once Shri Kant had finished his term. And all this thing, but see, it doesn't bother me, honestly, really. I'm quite happy to be sitting here and talking with you and talking to the public
So,
and
Mr.
to the
MS,
viewers.
so, Mr. Your penchant for speaking the truth cost the country another 3 years of Mohinder Amarnath as selector. Is that what happened?
No, not really, because like that's the way I am, and I always give my opinion, and if somebody doesn't like it, fine, it's bad luck or whatever you call it. It doesn't bother me, and I'm not going to change. I'm just going to remain the same, the way I am. Actually, you.
Right, now we come to the final part of the interview. I know we've taken up a lot of your time.
No,
I won't
that's
take
fine.
any more. Finally, when we were upstairs at your house, we were discussing, you mentioned something which nobody dares to mention, and I think that is far more important than anything else. You said that perhaps this Indian cricket team does not have the technique to play A, on these kind of wickets, and B, to be able to just stand there and play a test match. What did you mean by that?
No, I think if you look at the style of these players, I'm sure, I think if they play on good wickets, probably their performance will be totally different than what we have witnessed in this particular series in last 3 test matches. Because there are a lot of stroke players in this team. And when you're playing on these square turners and uneven bounce kind of wicket, I think you need players like Rahul Dravid, Lakshman and Sachin at his best, to cope up and handle those kind of wicket and the deliveries. And it's a very young side, some youngster in the side, but when you have a lot of stroke players, especially up in the batting order, including the captain, then you're going to have a lot of problem because you have to graft runs over here, you have to show a lot of patience and 5 days cricket, which is definitely is going to lack over there because you cannot change your game overnight. The way that you have been playing, you're likely to just carry on like that. If the wicket condition suits you, you're fine. If it doesn't, that you start to struggle. So I think this is a worry about this team, I think, because in a longer version, you have to play like 5-day cricket. You need very, very tight defense to survive on a condition like this, on a wicket like this. And when you're playing against a team who's really on high and who's won the last 2 test matches, it's not going to be easy for India.
What about Mr. Dhoni's so-called comment that Gautam Gambhir, was, played selfishly? He put gave non-batsmen the strike.
No, I don't know because
he of course denies it. He says he didn't say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, a lot of things comes in media, and it's very difficult to really comment on that. And
but is Gautam's technique all right? Do you think he's okay? No.
I think if you talk about the last test match, especially the Bombay test match, the person I think who batted the best was Gautam Gambhir. I think the second inning, I think on a turning track, on a difficult wicket, I think he handled the pressure very well. He has a fantastic technique against spin, and he can manage against pace as well. And he has the right temperament. I think it usually happens when you're losing. I think some stories start coming out, But how much truth is that? I don't know. Nobody to comment.
What about Virat Kohli? Because Virat Kohli seems to do very well in one day. So he seems to have lost his form in test matches.
No, he's still very young. He's still learning. It's not that if he's failed in 2 or 3 innings or that suddenly he doesn't have the potential. He has the potential. And see, he's also one of those he's a stroke player. He likes the ball to come onto the bat. So I think the condition does make a lot of difference to the style. Right. But there are some players like Rahul Dravid or Tendulkar in the past 20 odd years, or Lakshman, they have different technique. They can adjust themselves very quickly, whether they're playing abroad. That's why they have been great players. So I think, like for example, Sehwag is a natural stroke player. He can't change his game overnight and start batting for 5 hours and scoring 30 runs. He can't do it. Rahul Dravid could do it. Pujara in this team, probably batting lineup, could do it. And I don't see many players, they have that kind of I think temperament or technique to handle and bat for that longer period of time.
And what about our bowlers? Our bowlers also seem to have lost it. Our spinners are not spinning the ball. You have a guy like Monty Panesar, and I heard amazing explanations on television for the fact that Monty Panesar is bowling better than our bowlers because they say he's got longer fingers. This is the first time I'm hearing of it.
No. I think we should give credit to the English team because
They've done very well.
The way they have fought back and the way they're playing, and I think the adjustment they have made, and I think the technique probably they're using, especially. And don't forget now they play against each other quite often. It's not the case now in the olden days that some team would come 5 years, by that time condition would change,
right,
and then they would need time to settle down. But now I think they know the condition. I don't think conditions they are going to make difference to any team anywhere
What
in the
about the
world.
longer fingers? I want to know what.
I don't know. I have to very honest. I have not seen his fingers, so I don't want to really say anything.
Who should retire now from the Indian team? There is MS Dhoni, there is Sachin Tendulkar. Who else?
I'm not saying retire. I say because Dhoni can be replaced by somebody, and I think he's still a fantastic player in shorter version of the game. It's not that he cannot come back again.
Yeah.
Maybe but I think we have to give opportunity to some people.
And people like say Zahir Khan, out of form at the moment. How about Singh?
Yeah, see, form, I think it is bound to happen when you play for a long period of time, and the condition also, because if you see the nature of the wicket which we are playing, it probably the same Zahir. If you bowl in Australia or in South Africa, probably will be a different bowler. But in India, I think because the wickets are so slow and low bounce, the things, and the age comes to everybody. I think bowlers, get older quicker than batsmen, because I think there's a lot of load on their body, there are a lot of injuries they go through in the career, especially as a pace bowler. But I think we have to keep trying young players, we have to give them opportunity, and if they don't, well, you always have an option to have those guys back if they don't perform. But if they perform, then you have an option, what you want to do, how it should be done.
Finally, has the board contacted you? Has anybody from the board contacted you, told you what are you doing?
No, even when my term was over after 1 year, they didn't have the courtesy to call me at that time also, so I don't expect anything from BCCI.
No, right now, since you made a couple of points with regard to Mr. Srinivasan's veto power, and nobody's got in touch with you?
I don't think I've done anything wrong here, honestly.
Has anyone got in touch with you? Has anybody called you and told you, Jimmy, what are you doing?
No, I don't expect anyone to call me anyway, so it's okay.
Except for the fact, of course, that you've been accused of having your own favourites at the time that you were a selector.
I would like to know who are my favourites, honestly, I would like to know who are my favourites. See, there are a lot of people, they say a lot of things, so I don't pay attention to that anyway.
But in the end, do you think BCCI is going to change?
It doesn't bother me because I'm not interested in BCCI anyway.
But you're interested in Indian cricket?
I'm just interested in Indian cricket. The system should be clean, I think, and also I personally feel even the selection committee meetings, to have more clarity, I think it should be live on television. So the Indian public should know what exactly happens over there, and things would be crystal clear. And people like Parliament, we have these sessions over there, and because I don't think we should keep everything in Char Diwari ke andar.
Closed door and stuff
Absolutely,
like that.
I think cricket is bigger than anything else in the country. It unites the people, and so there I feel there's no harm in trying and see how it goes.
Televised selection meetings, that's a first. You think it'll ever happen?
I'm not bothered. These are my views actually.
But it's about cricket.
Yes, about cricket.
So why aren't you bothered as to
listen,
whether
I'm
or not BCCI
not
is
a
going to
messiah
change?
here to clean up the universe or something like that. I'm saying what I feel is good for cricket, and these are my suggestions. If this happens, great. If it doesn't happen, it's fine. Good luck to BCCI.
Good luck to BCCI. And when does your book come out, sir?
I'll start working now seriously because I'll have more time now. I'm not there, so I think I have the freedom to do it. And I'll work on it and try to do it as quickly as possible.
If BCCI were to come back to you and ask you to become a selector again, would you accept?
No, I will not be interested.
You would never be interested?
I will never be interested.
Ever in working with the BCCI in any capacity?
Ever in any capacity.
Are you terribly hurt at what has happened?
Not hurt actually, because I don't approve the system. Unless the system changes, unless the entire thing changes, and which is not going to do it. It's not going to happen. I'm not getting younger every day. So this, as I said, BCCI is not my cup of tea, so I don't want to be there.
Does it have to do with the amount of money that there is in the market? We have to talk
I'm
about
not
that.
interested in money anyway. Whatever I wish them to make more money. Why not? Really, if cricket provide you so much entertainment, good luck to them. I think they should. I wish them all the luck. I wish them all the success. What I'm interested in is Indian cricket. Indian cricket should flourish. That's all. Nothing else.
One final word on the IPL. Do you think the IPL is responsible for the rot in Indian Test cricket? Do you think there is a link up?
See, IPL is pure entertainment. It's not cricket, according to me. And we are not going to produce players from that kind of a tournament. I think let it be very clear. We'll produce players for 2020, yes, or maybe for 50 overs cricket. But in longer version of the game, I don't see players coming from IPL. Maybe 1 in a million kind of a thing, it could happen. And maybe you can give opportunity to players. I think it's great entertainment. I think when you see IPL, probably is the way it's advertised is much bigger than international matches. And fine, I think have that fun for that period of time, and then I think we have to put it in the shelf and forget about it altogether. We should not carry IPL onto the field for the rest of the tournaments.
It's just like a festival which takes place.
Absolutely,
at a
just do it, just as a pure entertainment.
right. It's like playing Holi, isn't it?
Something like that. Okay, just have fun. Really.
All right. So now Mr. Jimmy Amarnath, Mohinder Jimmy Amarnath says he's going to have fun. That's what he said. Because he's done with the BCCI. He's never going to be part of the BCCI. And even if the BCCI were to come to him on bended knee, he's going to say no. Right? Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. It's been a great pleasure. It's been really a great pleasure talking to you. And at some point of time later, we will talk about the way you used to play cricket. But that's for a later time. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Right? And you've been watching the RTV show. You can, of course, catch us live on the rtvshow.com. And, of course, you're watching this interview on Metro Network. See you again tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.